Alright guys, so had a really nice day yesterday, dropped the top on the Jeep and was driving home, and it went from about 60, and actually it was close to like 40 degrees in the morning when I left the house, and then was over 80 when I left, and on my way home, halfway home it died. Choked out, stuttered, sputtered, lost power, completely died, restarted and was fine, and then just completely conked out, wouldn't do anything. So between the time of me getting somebody to come pick me up and then getting back to the Jeep to tow it with my pickup truck home, hopped in and it started right away. So I tested out the crankshaft position sensor. Pretty common issue with these. It ohmed out fine, everything looked good on it, but I did have some issues with it the other day, a couple days ago, where it wouldn't start, pulled the connector apart, found some moisture in there, and plugged it back in, and it started right up. So I think that it might be an issue of that the sensor is heat soaking. And what that means is that when it gets hot, it actually creates an open or a disruption of the sensor function one way or the other, whatever the sensor is for. So I think that might have been partly what the issue is. Plus this thing has 180,000 miles on it and I do not know the history of it, so I figure why not go ahead and replace it. Preventative maintenance is always better than reactionary maintenance. So I think we're going to go through and eventually change out all the sensors. The O2 sensor looks pretty brand new, so I'm probably going to leave that one unless I get an actual code for it. But the idle air control, throttle position sensor, crank position sensor, the distributor I haven't cracked open yet, so we're going to look at that eventually. And there's my kiddo. But we're going to go ahead and do the crankshaft sensor today and go from there. Thanks. Okay guys, so you guys with the 91 and 92 year models, supposedly Chrysler in their beautiful wisdom decided to only have this one connector type run for the 2 years of this vehicle. So you can kind of see where my ratchet is down in there. There's actually a retaining nut on a stud that holds the cable, and then the connector is this one right down here. So welcome to dadhood, child always yelling. So anyways, we're going to get that undone and then crawl underneath and pop the sensor out of the transmission bell housing. Okay, so we are underneath the vehicle now, and we'll see if you can see it here. That guy right there is your transmission crankshaft position sensor. That's the sucker right there. Wires go up through the opening there to the sky and then connect up above. So this guy gets heat soaked a lot. Sometimes it causes a lot of issues, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll get this guy changed out. I believe they are 11mm bolts. We'll double check that and I'll report back. So that's the sucker right there. We're down here underneath. There's the front driver's wheel. There's your transmission, bottom of your transmission. This is your drive shaft right here. And then right, see if it'll focus. That guy right there. Right there. Okay guys, so did get it out. It was 11mm. You just use these two bolts here, 11mm socket, 1/4 inch ratchet. You can reach right around the drive shaft, don't have to drop anything or do anything. If you're stock height still though, you would want to get it up in the air a little bit on jack stands, but I've got a lifted one, so it was pretty straightforward. Crawl underneath and pull it out. But I think I did find the problem. So well, there's that little piece of metal that's attached to it. I think I found the culprit of what the issue was. I think, don't know which wire that is. See if it'll focus here. But that was like that when I pulled it off. So we were probably just barely making contact, or it was grounding out on the case or something, but hopefully that will be the issue and we won't have any more problems. So, but I'm still going to go through and replace the other sensors. Like I said, it's good practice, especially when you get a new vehicle that's close to 200,000 like this is. You don't know what the history is. So we're going to get the new one put back in and keep trucking along. Alright guys, so down in there you go right there. Got the new crankshaft position sensor in. cleaned out the connectors, found a little bit of wire chafing on one of the wires here, so I wrapped it up with some electrical tape. Got the nut back on to hold it in place, and underneath I hit it with some, got it in place, put the sensor in, and then I noticed that the O2 sensor was just zip tied there and hanging out, so the lock on it was broken as well, so I zip tied that together after I cleaned it out, and we will give this guy another road test and see how it goes. So I'll report back with any new findings or if anything gets worse or better, and hopefully that'll be one thing checked off and move on to the next. Thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, bell, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time on Flatland Jeeper. Bye.